made in 1970. There's tons of little references throughout the entire thing. Even entire scenes are basically references not only to King Kong vs. Godzilla, but other films from the Godzilla series, like Mothra vs. Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Destroya, even Return of Godzilla made in 1984. There's just like tons of those references all over it. Another thing that I want when I make it into a movie is I want the soundtrack to be made out of nothing but Akira Ifukube music. Just reused music. Because, you know, Akira Ifukube added just so much to those kaiju films. And his music is just plain old awesome. I mean, his music fits this movie so well. It's like I couldn't even hire a new composer to do it. Well, I could hire somebody to recompose it, but I'd have to use Akira Ifukube's cues. It's just going to be... It's the number one movie I want to make. It literally is the number one movie I want to make. And it's going to be fun. This book is going to be great. It's going to be long. I'm going to warn everybody that the movie's probably going to be long. And the issue is, what's going to probably wind up happening is that I'm approaching this as realistically as I possibly can. I mean, it might come off as a bit cheesy, but like I'm going to film a lot of special effects. Like the film's going to need a lot of special effects, and it's going to be needed to be treated seriously. Like the scenes where people are burnt, people are going to be actually burning. There's going to be a pretty significant amount of gore in the film, and what's going to wind up happening is that probably a film studio is going to be like, okay, hey, looky here, we want to get more views out of this movie, and the way how you filmed it, you're making it a rated R, so we want to make it a PG-13, so they're going to cut the shit out of it. Not only for the gore sense, but because of how long it's probably going to be. And so what's going to wind up happening, it's going to be just like Conquest for the Planet of the Apes. There's going to be the theatrical version, and then there's going to be the director's cut / unrated version, which would be my personal cut. You know, that's just what I'm worried about it. And it just bums me out, because Godzilla is the way how I'm treating it, he's not... He's not the campy lizard guy in rubber lizard suit from the 60s and 70s. This Godzilla is something to fear, and he's just plain old evil. You know, Kong is by far the most sympathetic monster out of the three. Kong represents those people who are taken from one place and moved to another, and they don't really know what they're doing. He's almost kind of like the immigrants that were coming to the United States during the 1900s. They came to a new land, they didn't know what to expect, they were scared, they were pushed around. Kong represents that. Kong is in a totally different area, a totally different climate. Kong has no idea what's going on. And so the fact that he's thrown into this situation makes him all around the more sad. Like, he's not just like a giant creature like in King Kong vs. Godzilla. Kong is a full-blown character. I mean, Godzilla is a character too, I'm going to admit it. Godzilla is a metaphor for death. He's just simply a metaphor for death. Everything that we forget. It's almost sort of like a metaphor for how history repeats itself. Because, well, in this case, it literally does repeat itself. Because we lose sight of the past, we wind up repeating it. And because we lose sight of Godzilla, it comes back. And so it's sort of like that full circle effect, just like history is. Minla is just Minla. Minla is the same case as Godzilla. What I needed was... Minla is what sort of winds up bringing a human side back to Godzilla. Godzilla isn't just a creature that just walks around randomly destroying things. Godzilla plots his tactics out. Like, I'm gonna have like a lot of shots of like Godzilla looking around, and you can definitely see that Godzilla's planning shit. And so that's one thing. You know, I'm not just approaching Godzilla like a giant lizard. or like in the American version of King Kong versus Godzilla, his brain is about the size of a marble, so he acts on pure instinct. Godzilla is a smarter creature than a normal giant lizard. I'm really debating in my head, like I have the overall sort of description down of Godzilla in the book, but I'm probably going to wind up changing it, because, you know, as much as I love the hunched over Godzilla from the Millennium series, I do really, really like the one from 1984. Godzilla was still upright, but yet he still looked dangerous, and he was just a monster to fear. His spikes, I'm not sure how large they're going to be. I think I'm going to plan on them being smaller than the ones on the Millennium series, but I think they're going to be bigger than the ones on the ones from the Showa era. So they're going to be a mixture of the two, and so I guess I'm probably going to wind up settling for a Godzilla that looks different but yet the same from the ones in the 80s and the 90s. I'm going to have tons of fun with this. So I'm probably going to be posting more videos soon. I'm in the process of making another movie for Chopper Pilot 5. There will be more movies coming up more movie reviews coming up on Mr. Avatar 911. Sorry this is so long. It was just sort of worth it. I just needed a video to go out there, and I just wanted to tape my opinions on this. So, there I go. That's my Godzilla reboot kind of deal, the movie that I want to make. And I'm really looking forward to posting it on YouTube and seeing what you guys think of it. Alright, so this is Adam Noyes for Mr. Avatar 911-Chopper Pilot 5, signing out.